Good afternoon and welcome to the National Volleyball Centre here in Kettering for the women's gold medal match. England-Scotland Part 2. England men have just won the Five Nations on their side with a 3-0 sweep. Now what can the women do? Can Scotland take some revenge and carry on their strong tournament, or can England come back after losing yesterday's encounter between the two sides? We'll find out very shortly. Michael Hanson-Morris filling in temporarily at the minimum alongside Essex Rebels head coach Alex Chinnery. And Alex, this rivalry never fails to disappoint.
No, absolutely. We're seeing a little bit of a different matchup between Scotland and England, two teams that are at different stages of their life cycle. Scotland very, very experienced, got a group that have played together for a long time. England very, very young, graduated a lot of this group from the U19 national team into this senior national team for this tournament. Lots of potential opportunities, but
yeah, and obviously these two sides know each other well, and we'll obviously have a look at the game. But for England, we'll talk about them first. Obviously, slightly different team, slightly stronger team went to Luxembourg for the Novotel Cup, so young and inexperienced, but they've definitely grown throughout the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you look at a lot for this England team about how emotionally they were going to handle having so many debutants, having so many first cap winners in this tournament. Not a huge amount of experience on this team either. Yeah, you've got players that have played in the Super League that have been to Final Fours, but there's only one or maybe two in there that have actually won a national team cap before. So not many that have been in this kind of situation on the senior level, and they've done well in that part. They've come in, they've been emotionally very controlled, they've put themselves into good positions in some of these games. Yes, yesterday didn't go the way they would have wanted it to, but they've reset, they look focused, they look up for this one, and I think that's a good sign. Coach Bartelli was really excited about what this team could do today when I spoke to her earlier this morning.
Yeah, England winning game one of the championship against Ireland 25-13, then drop the second set 20-25, then close it out 25-12, 25-16 before the sweep of Northern Ireland yesterday morning 19-12, and then a tight third set, come from behind victory 27-25. And this style of play, obviously a little bit middle heavy for England, haven't quite found the success on the outsides as much as they perhaps need to if they want to upset Scotland today.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of an imbalance when you split the squads like they have. You know, you're going to struggle sometimes to find players at different positions. We're lucky we've got a really, really good, experienced crop of middle blockers. So 3 strong middle blockers went out to Novotel, 3 very strong middle blockers here at the Five Nations as well. Kath Tolley, the most efficient attacker in the tournament so far, one of the most efficient attackers in the Super League as well this year. Saskia Freitas, another one with huge Super League experience, comes in, very rarely lets the team down with what she does, maybe not quite as athletic, maybe not quite as bang bang power as the other two, but really smooth in how she plays. And then Izzy Brown, who's just a firecracker for Notts. She's been so consistent throughout her career with Nottingham. She runs in system, out of system, attacks really, really well, blocks well, has a massive presence in the middle. So England have got such a strength in that position here. Whilst on the pin, you've got some players that potentially haven't played together all that much, some setter pin combinations that aren't that well tested. Players playing out of position. Alice Jagielska, usually an opposite, played a lot on the outside in this tournament. Daniela Chandu come in on the opposite position yesterday in that game, which is a transition that she's been working on for the past year or so, but it's one going from middle to opposite is not the easiest transition, and she's done really, really well. She projects to have an incredible senior national team career with the tools that she has at just 17 years old coming into this one. But there's still some learning going on with a lot of these England girls that are in and playing at this level right now.
Let's flip it over to Scotland, undefeated in group play. Obviously, really strong tournament so far. Little bit of a slip up on day one, dropping one set to Northern Ireland. It was 25-11, 25-18, 17-25, but then came out in decisive fashion, 25-10. And then over Ireland, much more convincing yesterday. Strong day for Scotland yesterday on the whole. 25-11, 25-13, 25-17. And what's really impressed you about this Scotland outfit?
I think there's a couple of things. The level of experience on the pin attackers, their ability to get up and kill the ball is something that they're the only team. Scotland are the only team that have pin attackers at this tournament that consistently are putting the ball away. Shona Fraser has grown massively in the couple of years since she won the Super League at the University of Durham. Gone and played professionally. You can see that she looks stronger, she looks more athletic, she looks like she knows the game a lot better, has more experience, is able to be counted upon for this Scotland team. They've just got loads of experience and some athleticism, some hard swingers there on the pin. But it's actually the 2 middle blockers that I've been really impressed with for Scotland. Undersized, but know how to play their role as undersized middle blockers. They're not overstretching in the block, they're not overstretching offensively, not trying to bounce balls in the middle of the court. They're hitting deep, they're hitting to space really well, know how to score off the block. They're just super efficient in the way that they play. You can tell there's loads of experience in this starting 7. They've played together a lot. I don't think they have quite the bench strength that England do. I think England's bench is far closer in ability level to its starters, but I think this Scotland starting 7, if they stay on court, they don't get broken, their serve receive doesn't get broken, they're going to be a really tough out for England in this one.
Right, let's have a look at some ones to watch for this game, and we'll start with England. And number 12, Alice Jagielska, obviously the side-out player, beach background as well, had a strong sum on the beach, but again, had a huge game yesterday, and really that transition really helped her, it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, the mental side of Alice's game is her superpower, right? For the age that she is, still in school, still a young athlete, but with experience of the Super League, you know, winning the National Cup last year with Bologna side out, you know, going and winning a bronze medal with England U17s at Nevza, going now onto the beach, playing senior Nevza on the beach as well. She's had so much experience at the top level and just is able to be that placid, same Alice at any moment in the game. She gets set at 14-13 in the 5th set, she's going to swing exactly the same way as if she is set at 0-0 in set 1, and that is such a rare commodity, especially amongst young athletes, and she's England's big point scorer.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, can they go and find some success? Obviously, Jojo Cruz had a big tournament as well for England. We'll talk about more later on, but for Scotland, got to flip it over. And again, so many different directions we could go. But Alex, you want to talk about number 11, Shona Fraser, a little bit?
Yeah, I mentioned her in the build-up. I think she's had an incredible tournament, whether it's in the front row or the back row. She's got the power to go and put the ball away if that set's perfect, but she's also made really good decisions when the set's not great, when Scotland are out of system, you know, when they're going to rely on her to go and score points and to win the game. I think if England can slow her down, which is a big, big task, that's how they come and they win this game. But she hasn't looked like being slowed down all weekend, just making great swings, really smart swings, playing to space when the big, hard-driven ball's not on, using the hands, finding ways to score. She's also a real leader in this Scotland outfit, leads by example, not massively vocal in the way that she leads, but just does the right thing every single time. Another one of these athletes that stays very placid, very level-headed, you know, is going to make good decisions the majority of the time when she gets the opportunity to touch the ball.
Yeah, Fraser playing her volleyball out in Luxembourg for CS Gym Volley, being part of this team for it's her 8th season with the national team, so she's got that going through her. And again, Scotland, that variety of offense. We'll talk about a couple of the others as we get close to this game. But Alex, obviously, these two teams did meet yesterday. Scotland winning 25-16, 25-22, 20-25 and 25-11 to close it out. So 2 convincing sets, 2 tight sets. What were your kind of biggest takeaways from that fixture?
So I think from a Scotland point of view, got to get England out of system. They got England out of system really well yesterday. It meant England couldn't run their middles. It meant Scotland were able to win the game with their good decision making, their level of experience, their level of physicality on the pin. If England can pass well, if they can get in system, get their middles running like they did in the 3rd set of that game yesterday, it gives England a real chance. Right? If England can score in the middle, take some of the pressure off the pins, let Jojo, give Alice and Jojo some one-on-one blocks, then you've got the opportunity to go out and score and to win this game and put some real pressure on Scotland. I also want to see England's service pressure go way up. Can they break this Scotland reception? Scotland have been the best receiving team in the whole tournament. It shows with the way they've been able to run their offense and the level of experience they have. Can England break that? Can they put some pressure on from the service line and really try and expose some of the areas of this Scotland team?
Yeah, and you talk about that. Scotland double the ace total of England. But I think for me, the interesting thing is, can either defence start to fire up? Only 6 block kills for Scotland yesterday, 5 for England, so neither block really dominating. Can one of those step up and make an impact?
Yeah, I think you see there a lot of the experience in this Scotland team. They're not going to get blocked very often because they make very good attacking decisions. I also don't, they're not the most physical, they're not the tallest, they're not the biggest profile team in the world. So I think you're going to struggle from this Scotland team to get loads of blocks. England, on the other hand, will be disappointed with how they blocked yesterday. They'll want to go out and hunt some more blocks. These middles that England have, they score a lot. They're up there in the blocking totals in the Super League. They'll expect to come in and try and make an impact on this game.
Indeed, as we get prepared for the national anthems, very noisy National Volleyball Centre. They are set 5, 11-9 Ireland lead in the men's bronze medal game. Of course, our focus is on this gold medal match. And we'll take a quick break as we have the national anthems for both England and Scotland. As we welcome you back after national anthems, we're preparing for this gold medal game between England and Scotland. Coaching staffs greet each other at the net, and we get prepared for player introductions in a minute or two's time as Ireland complete the reverse sweep. They win the men's bronze medal game. And Alex, let's just talk a little bit. I know we focused on Shauna Fraser there, but you talked about the diversity of this attack and a couple of people to watch out for. Rachel Morrison and Alexis Cruzy on the outside, combined 35 points between them yesterday. And that shows that diversity of their offense and what they can really do.
Yeah, I think England very inexperienced on the right side. On that side, so Daniela Chandu, new to that role, not the most experienced blocker in the world. Molly Van Essen, a relatively strong blocker from the setter position, but in England just unable to line up their block in the right position. It's one of the areas the coaches highlighted yesterday after the game that they were going to potentially try and change coming into this one. I think it'll be really interesting to see where England line up against these outsides, whether they try and block a little bit more of the line, try and funnel the attack more cross-court, let their middle blockers try and get in front and hard front these outside hitters to then try and put them on the floor.
So our officiating crew, just seen him take to the court. On the stand, Anna Juskowska, and the second referee, Giordano dos Santos, as we get ready to introduce both the rosters for this Five Nations gold medal match. And the starting lineups, we don't really expect many surprises, but you never know. These two teams playing yesterday, obviously both teams, coaching staffs gone into the tape, probably looked at some trends, so maybe we'll just see something and we'll find out very momentarily. And Scotland will be the first ones out. They'll start with number 2, Ellen Ranklin. Number 3, we just talked about it, Alexis Cruzy. Number 4, Carla Murray. Number 5, Rachel Morrison. Number 8, Emma Weldy, their setter. And number 11, Shauna Fraser, their starting libero. Is number 6, and their libero, Laura McReady. And that is your starting 7 for Scotland. Obviously experienced coaching staff as well on the Scottish side. They are led by Danny Taylor, assistant Fiona Welsh and Gail Wilson on the bench, as well as we meet England. Number 1, Isabel Brown. Number 3, Lauren Howe. Number 9, Kat Tolley. Number 12, Alice Jagielska. Number 15, Jojo Cruz. Number 16, Molly Van Essen, their starting libero. Number 6, Abby Littler, but we've seen England swap liberos a lot. And we haven't really talked about it. Molly Van Essen, going to be huge for England in this final.
Yeah, hugely experienced setter. Someone who's played a lot of volleyball at the top level, played here in Nevza in 2017 against a really strong Swedish team that actually included international superstar Bella Hock, superstar opposite. She just brings a huge amount of leadership, a huge amount of experience, knows the game really, really well. She's going to put her team in good positions, and I'm continuing to be really excited to see where they go with this.
Yeah, England coaching staff, Maria Batelli leading this tournament, and assistant, the ever-experienced Darren Lewis. And obviously Darren's had the privilege of working with some of these younger athletes through junior national teams and also Boswell School. As we get ready for the opening set here, Scotland will open up the serve, and it will be number 4, Carla Murray. So Scotland starting with the libero off and the 2 middle system to open up as we get ready for this gold medal game. Scotland, England, get your thoughts and comments in the chat. And we are underway here at the National Volleyball Centre. Littler takes the first ball. Slide attack, Isabel Brown. That's a perfect start, England.
Exactly how England would have wanted to start this game, right? Perfect pass, get you in system, get the middle into the game, get a big swing early on. The middles are going to score points for you if you get them into the game. Do it as early as you can.
So Molly Van Essen, the Leeds Gorse setter, had a really strong year at Leeds Gorse. They push for top 4, and there's a perfect response, perfect side out for Scotland, killed off on the outside by Shona Fraser.
England's blocking issues come into the fore again. Jojo Cruz starts very far inside on that block, can't then make up the distance to get out and take Fraser out of the attack.
So Fraser gets the ace to start. Littler can't quite handle it, and that's probably the weakness in this England team. The liberos struggling just a little bit.
Yeah, England have been the weakest reception team in the whole tournament. They've come into this one kind of knowing that they need to pass well. There's a lot of pressure on that unit right now.
As Jagielska can't respond, and Fraser, second ace in a row, and Scotland coming out, putting on that pressure. We talked about 12 aces in yesterday's game, 2 off the bat.
This is the experience of Shona Fraser as well, just able to put that serve into the right position over and over again.
Jagielska, another serve reception error, heads drop from the England coaching staff, and they are quickly in a 4-1 deficit. 3 straight aces, and the Scotland bench loving it.
This is where England could get themselves into a little bit of trouble. They're going to have to start fronting up to this serve and getting something up that they can play from.
Changing rotation in terms of a serve reception unit, but same result, and that's going to be a early and much needed timeout. 4 aces for our one-to-watch Shona Fraser. That time the error coming by Lauren Howe, and no doubt where England are talking in this timeout.
Yeah, I think for me, this England reception unit's got to take a step forward. They've got to take a step up, try and front this serve a little bit more. The ball's dropping on them. As this Mikasa ball, as it starts to lose power, it starts to move in the air a lot more. The higher you step up, the less you're going to take that, or the more you're going to take that movement out of the equation. I love the way that Shona Fraser's just going after her target over and over again from a serving perspective. That's what you want your best players to do. Come on, serve to a zone and go for it over and over again, especially if it's working. Don't adjust, don't change what you're doing, just keep going into that zone.
So Fraser, can she make another ace? Littler gets under it, but it's again a not good pass. Howe will swing long. Not quite the ace, but again that serve pressure coming up on England, and they're going to have to fix this in a hurry if they want a chance in set number 1. Fraser goes down the seam, Cruz leaves it, and that's a mistake, and Shona Fraser just going to keep going. England make immediate change at libero. Madeline Montero will come in to the passing unit. See if that can make a change or not. As Fraser goes line, Howe plays it. I think that was probably creeping wide. She'll get a swing. Block touch Scotland. Low set, but off the hands of Cruz. Onto the tower flex. Killed off by Cruzy. And Scotland rampaging away.
Yeah, England just lost any kind of shape, any kind of momentum now. They need, if they can get this first ball up, you need to get a swing and put a swing in that's going to side out.
That isn't, as Jagielska, Molly Van Essen is in 1. She is never going to get all the way across the 4 and play that, but no awareness of England. And another timeout, 9-1.
Yeah, this is about the worst start that England could have had coming into this one, right? Already slightly fragile confidence in the service reception unit. That will be shattered now from a really strong serving run from Shona Fraser. I like what Scotland have done. They've attacked early on into the seams of this reception unit. It's a unit that's not going to play together very much. There's probably not a huge amount of, there's a huge amount of communication needed to try and get this unit back to where they need it to be. England have got to come out now and almost throw caution to the wind a little bit and start to make plays in a way that, at least try and get this ball up into the middle of the court where they can do something with it.
Both timeouts for England, trailing 9-1. Couple of subs sat on the bench. Obviously, that's the rotation, but if things continue, might not get it. Montero, eventually England get it over, but Scotland going to have options. Tip, no one covering the middle of the floor. And that as easy as you like, but great recognition from Morrison. Your first swing of the day, you don't really want a tip from the pipe, but success is found, and Scotland 10-1 up.
All of that Scottish experience just coming through in some great decision making.
And that one just creeps along. Early call for England, and they finally get out of the rotation, but Shona Fraser, you don't want to ask much more of that in a gold medal game. 10 serves to start you off.
Yeah, just an outstanding opening service run from Shona Fraser, putting the ball in the right place. Backed up by her team a couple of times, the ball came over. Scotland did a really, really good job at putting that ball on the floor.
So Jojo Cruz back for Scotland. Perfect pass, perfect middle attack. Wasn't quite timed, but doesn't matter as Ellen Ranklin makes the adjustment and finds the gap, and England's defence is just off pace.
Yeah, it just not quite there right now, right? The middle attacker dropping in behind the setter like that. The England middles have to hard front. They have to try and get a block up on that ball.
Can England get the offense going? Then run another middle attack, this time for Izzy Brown. Second time England have run middle, second time she's found the floor, and that'll allow Catherine Tolley to finally come in. That's probably a worst nightmare as a middle, right? Coming in for your first rotation, and the opposition have already got 11 on the board.
Yeah, not where you want to be as a middle blocker coming in, but she'll try and impact the game positively.
As Izzy Brown certainly has great serve pressure. Setter dump on two, didn't really have a setting option. Howe cross court, good defense by Scotland, good dig, back court pipe off the top of the tape. That's unlucky for Howe and was never going to have a chance with that one, but better from England, better offense, but the Scotland defense coming through. We've seen Fraser with that serving run, and there's the diving dig.
That's one of the areas of the game, her game, that I didn't highlight at the beginning. She's a phenomenal defender as well in that opposite position. Usually those big opposite attackers, not great defenders, but she contributes in the game so many ways.
Cruz gets Van Essen scrambling. She can't do a lot with it, and Tolley puts it into the net. And Scotland's lead back up to double digits. 13 points to 3 here in the Five Nations. The bronze medal game between Northern Ireland and Ireland is probably about half an hour away. Tolley runs middle, but I think they're going to call a net touch on Carla Murray. But that was a good block attempt by Scotland. They'll be happy with that despite the outcome.
Yeah, really, really smart, sitting on that be quick, allowing this bunch blocking scheme to go to work, not having to work overly hard to get those block touches, but just sitting on, reading the game really, really well.
Howe, good strong serve, joust at the net. Going to be recycled. Scotland again going from the back line, but this time the hitting error comes in. And back-to-back points for the first time for England. Rachel Morrison with the attack.
That's how England work their way back into this game, making smart plays, making smart decisions in the front row, putting Scotland under a bit of pressure and moving from there.
Howe, another strong serve. Scotland out of system again. Deep in the court in the attack. Jagielska finds the kill, and that's much better. England attacking, and Van Essen, that's the power, the read on the set. Obviously the option down the middle, and really got her isolated.
Really nice tempo on that set to the pin. I really like what Alice is able to do with that ball that's dying and dropping slightly inside. Really smart play.
Again, the attack this time, the split of the block. Van Essen and Tolley went up, but didn't close the window. And Scotland find the gap. And I've got a very unhappy coach to my right. As Cruz, much better, still not perfect. Tolley gets a touch on it, sends Scotland scrambling. With Waldy, but there's a monster block by Shona Fraser.
Yeah, just trapping Jagielska in here, sees everything going cross court, sits up on the hitter really well, presses on time, knows the swing that's coming and is able to put her on the floor.
So Waldy, the setup back, and that just creeps over the baseline. Good leave by Cruz. And Waldy obviously got her sister in the team as well, but approaching 50 caps, playing a volleyball at the City of Edinburgh, where a lot of these Scottish players are together, which definitely see some advantage of, as Tolley gets the block, tries to rescue it, but can't quite dig it out. But you'll feel like if she can get touches like that, long term, England will be happy with that. That gives them an opportunity to recycle.
Hey, at least England are in the game when they're getting touches like that in the block. I think timing was slightly off on that block, went very high. Scotland took advantage of it really well. They're going to make good decisions. That's what they've done all tournament.
Miscommunication, and it's a free ball that Van Essen has to give up. As Montero made the defensive play. Cross court, blocked by Tolley. Going to be a tip over, and England have got a real chance in system. Long set, Cruz goes over the block, finds the floor. That's really smart decision making from the outside.
Yeah, Scotland's defence sitting deep, expecting Fraser to take a lot of that with her block. It's a really smart tip just to find the space over the top of it. Because even if the setter comes in and makes the play there defensively, Scotland are out of system. England have the chance to keep clawing their way back into this one.
So Tolley back to serve, pass to the 3 metre line, and they really seem to be honing in on going at Van Essen in the block.
Yeah, I really like what Crucy does here. She makes the most of her height, she makes the most of her profile, she's hitting the ball at the highest point that she can, and is able to then go and use the top of the block, make it really hard for the block to get up there and press back in.
So Scotland leads 17-8 as Cruz goes into the block. We've talked about the defense on the back end, talked about the presence at the net, and exactly why you see it. Shona Fraser making life easy for early MVP candidates.
Yeah, I mean, she's already up to 9 points in this first set for Scotland, which is an incredible number in just one, not even full set of volleyball.
As Jagielska from the back line finds the middle of the net.
I like that from England, though. They're showing something a little bit different. They're at least trying to get their back row attack into the game. Just unable to quite get that ball in play that time.
As Carla Murray continues this little serving run. She's the most experienced made cap number 50 did Carla Murray yesterday. As England bench didn't want it, Jagielska got there. Montero scrambling, but was never going to quite get there. Great effort by the libero. England wanted the, I think, illegal set for double touch.
Potentially. I mean, Scotland have done a really good scouting job on this England team. Everything they're attacking to space. They've found the quirks of the system that England are playing. England played yesterday, and they're putting pressure on by attacking into the areas where there aren't any defenders.
Cross-court, Cruz has to play it. Another middle for Izzy Brown, and this has been the bright spark in set one for England. Izzy Brown running slides in particular, varied how she's attacked, but is having success, and this is where England are going to have to understand if they've got an advantage, they need to keep going to it more and more.
But they need to pass well enough to be able to go to that middle, and that's where they've struggled right now. The first ball hasn't been good enough.
Scotland set up. Brown gets the tip, but recycle. Scotland misplayed who was going to get there. They wanted the setter to come all the way across, but not quite in position was Waldy. And England get finally into double digits. And arguably the best server of this England team, Molly Van Essen, back on the service line. But what's next for Scotland is Fraser. So this is a big chance for England. And Van Essen gets the ace. That ball really moving away late.
Yeah, it's such a hard float serve to pass because Molly hits it at just the right speed that it just dies on you as you're about to pass it, and that's when this ball makes its big movements to the left or to the right.
This time cross-court, overpass. Cruz tries to kill it, but big touch by Waldy. Brown recovers, but not quite in time. And that's a shame for England because that free ball is all you want as an outside hitter. You probably want it on this team at that situation to go to Cruz, but she can't connect. And now the ever dangerous Shona Fraser. We know what she did to start the game. This time goes float. Jagielska gets to it. Howe into the block. And England win the point. Not the prettiest, but that's huge for England. No more run at the service line by Shona Fraser.
Yeah, great to get off that Fraser serve, even if it is a little bit messy doing so.
So Cruz, the Mallory Eagles, outside, was the game MVP yesterday in the first game of the day. Scotland have to go back row. Back set, Howe goes cross court. Again, terrific positioning by Fraser. Tip, Brown gets another touch. Izzy Brown being a nuisance in the block. Little setter dump, Brown gets it over, but not quite enough for the kill. And that creeps over the baseline, and Izzy Brown is stepping up and trying to carry this England team on her back.
This is what she does. She does it every week for the University of Nottingham. She just goes in and makes plays. Doing a really, really good job here of just bringing energy, trying to push this England team back into it.
So England still got a big deficit, trailing by 8 late in the set. But we know momentum's important, and someone who's carried momentum from start to finish, Shona Fraser.
Just such a good attacker, able to go and make her impact, whether she's in the front row or the back row. She scores points for this team, way into double digits now with 12, and just 12 of 22 points have come from Shona Fraser. Just an incredible performance.
And whistle's gonna go. I think they're gonna call over from the backcourt.
Yeah, setters in the back row. You can't play that ball above the height of the net and push it over when you're in the back row. Unfortunate. Vanessa may have been trying to set it, but it doesn't matter. If that ball goes over, you're always going to get called.
Yeah, you could, as you tell, Brown was trying to get a touch on it. Referee saying not enough. There's the middle attack. Block touch. Scotland did a good job trying to close the angle, but not quite enough. And Izzy Brown continues her scoring streak. She's up to 4 points. But no one in England has got more than one apart from her, and that's going to be the story that they try and fix in set number 2, unless they can pull off a miracle as Brown, back to serve, finds nearly the bottom of the net. And of all the players allowed an error in this set from England, you would allow Izzy Brown, but again, uncharacteristic from her.
England just unable to execute over and over again. I think that's been the story of this one so far. Scotland execute when they're put under a little bit of pressure. England, that pressure comes on and they can't execute 2 in a row.
And an ace to finish, cool and calm as you like from Scotland. And they dominate set number 1, 25-14. And service pressure, aces galore. England serve-receive unit not up to scratch, and unless that changes, this is going to be a quick 3-0.
Yeah, 7 service aces for Scotland in that first set. Tell the story of it, really. They just were able to put so much pressure on from the service line. Shona Fraser comes in, has 12 points out of Scotland's 25 in that one. She's just taken over this game. England powerless to stop her so far. Have to get in system, or have to start producing better swings out of system if they're going to stay in this phase of the game for long periods.
You can see lots of smiles there on the Scotland faces. How do they improve?
Scotland, I think it's just more of the same from Scotland. They're making smart decisions. They're making Fraser, they're giving Fraser the opportunity to play. That's what we said at the start, right? Get Fraser involved in the game as much as possible. They've done that here. They've put England under loads of pressure. And England they just can't handle what Shona Fraser's putting down right now.
Yeah, and as for England, you can see Maria Bertelli back into the huddle, had a long chat with Darren Lewis. Obviously, if you take out serve-receive passing for a minute, what will we be talking about trying to find more kills? Is it still through the middle, or do they need to spread, or how do we get Cruz? Maybe do you get Shandu in the game and change something?
I think you have to get Cruz going. They haven't really got her going offensively in this one so far. She's the most experienced attacker on the pin out there. She hits the space really well, uses the block to open up the court well. I think England's other pins just haven't tested the Scotland defenders enough. They've not swung to space, they've swung at players. It's easy for the Scotland defenders to just sit in and make digs. The McCready, the libero, Shona Fraser in zone 1 have just ate up everything that's come out of system from England so far. They have to find ways to put a little bit more pressure on this Scotland team with the offense that they're using. I think use Cruz as much as possible. Potentially see Chandu come in. She's a little bit more of a wild card, lots of power, lots of athleticism, slightly less refined. Isn't going to allow you to shift your passing unit around quite as much, but yesterday she made blocks. She had a couple of big swings when she was in the game, and England just haven't been able to do that today.
Yeah, you can see the England huddle, lot of instructions, and again, obviously, they've got experience of losing a couple of sets. We've seen them bounce back, so it'll be interesting. It's a big first 5-6 points coming out for England, and we'll leave you in the hands of Alex, and now she's back having done a thrilling 5-setter in the men's bronze medal game, I'll hand over to Jess Smith, who will lead the rest of this one with Alex.
Thanks for that intro, Michael. And the ladies are just now getting lined up ahead of the start of set number 2. What a thrilling opener for the Scotland ladies.
Yep, Scotland dominant in the opening set. England unchanged in this one. Can they claw their way back in, I think, is the big. I want to see a big bit of energy from England coming into this one. Can we take some risks? Can they try and put the ball on the floor with their swings rather than playing it relatively safe? I think Scotland have done a good job of risk management offensively. When the opportunity to put the ball on the floor has been there, they've done it, they've gone for it. They've made a couple of errors, but not many. And I think that's the difference right now. Scotland are playing aggressively. England are a little bit timid in what they're trying to do.
Yep, so Van Essen now is going to open the set with a float serve onto McGreedy, which, again, beautiful pass from her. And a great swing from Morrison there, going high off the hands of Cruz.
Just a tough look for England to come out and open the set that way. You know, serve right onto the platform of the libero, who's having a really good tournament. Reception-wise, block not set, allows the attacker to get outside of the block and go off the hands. Yeah,
so Morrison with a deep serve on Littler, but she gets a decent pass out of it. That set from Van Essen is much too wide for Lauren Howe. And she clips the aerial on the way past. So Morrison again, a shallower float serve this time. Jagielska does well to get that ball up, and a rolling shot from Cruz is contained. Out to Crucy with a cross-court shot that's well wide of the court. Let off for England there.
That's a much better block setup from England. They got in front, they hard-fronted Crucy, forced her to have to go to the tougher 4-to-4 shot cross-court. Unable to do so, makes the error. That's what England need to do more of in this set.
So JoJo Cruz in with a float serve, again aiming at McGreedy, but that's a tight pass. And Waldy is going to get called as a backcourt attack violation.
Yeah, similar one to the Van Essen violation at the end of the first set. Tries to set the ball, it goes over. Ball's above the height of the net, can't make anything work.
So England will be happy now to start off much better in this set as Cruz serves again, this time deep on McGreedy. And a communication error between Murray and Waldy leads to an England point.
We've seen a couple of those today from Scotland. It's been the one area that started to crack in their experience in this game. It's tough for England. The tougher England serve, the more of those broken plays that are going to occur.
Yeah, and we spoke to McGreedy last night, who was our woman of the match for last night's tie, and she actually said that one of their strengths as a squad is that they know who's going to get the ball, but it's just breaking down for them right now. Smart tip from Jagielska, but covered well by Scotland. And Shona Fraser again with the kill, this time coming between the block as Brown not able to close.
Just a smart swing. Sees the pin attack. Jagielska not quite lined up in the right way. Knows there's going to be a gap in the block. Just easy roll to the space in zone 6.
That's a great pass from Jagielska. So we're going to go out to Lauren Howe. And defense is straight over the net. So free ball to England, but a little bit out of system here. Jagielska with a great swing. And Morrison with a pancake. But it unfortunately goes towards the baseline instead of towards the net.
Scotland just playing such attacking volleyball. They're trying to attack everything, even in the defensive phase of the game. They're hunting for the digs. They're hunting to keep that ball up. Whereas England are a little bit more passive. They need to just be a little bit more aggressive. We saw a little bit there from Jagielska on the swing. It's a good swing. It's a swing to score. We need more of that from England.
So Brown to serve, this time aiming at Morrison. Decent pass out to Crucy with a strong swing, and the defense off of Brown is out. Fraser's serve on Jagielska, much better handled than what we saw in set number 1. And a very smart block out swing off the smaller blocker of Waldy.
if Jagielska can start to get into this game with her swing, she's going to start to become a danger for this England, start to become that point scorer that she has been all day, all competition, sorry, for England. Just needs to have that confidence from the swing.
So this pass is off the net, so out of system to Cruz, and a net touch violation on Catherine Tully, who claims that it was her shirt, but the second referee saying, no, you've touched the net. First referee just having a chat with Van Essen, probably reminding her that her players can't be talking to the officials.
I might get in trouble here. People might think I'm just defending my athlete, but I hate this. I hate this from referees. Let the athletes be human beings. Let them have emotions on court. Not said anything out of order to a referee. She's just had some emotion about a point.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
Athletes robots.
Yeah, and then an error to follow that one up, but I do get where you're coming from. On the other side of the fence, as somebody that does officiate, it is important to make sure that you maintain control of the match, and sometimes allowing that type of thing to happen, a player that's not the captain speaking to the officials, just can become something that's out of control as the match wears on. What a pickup from McGreedy there. So Cruzy from the backcourt has to send in a rolling shot. So out to Jagielska again, but great block coverage by Cruz. So backcourt to Lauren Howe. And that looks like a wild sort of set, and Fraser tripping over the official stand. But again, very wide set out to Jagielska on the outside, too wide to do anything positive with.
Yeah, location's been a struggle early on here for England. They just need to do a little bit better with it. Some of the tempo, some of the timing of these pin attackers isn't quite where they need it to be in the link with the setter right now.
Yep, so Cruzy continues serving on Jagielska here, really trying to get that ball down. So this is going to be an early timeout for England, as they've had 4 errors in a row in the last couple of points. So what do you think that they're discussing in their huddle?
I think England need to just come out and be more aggressive than they're being right now. There's not enough aggression in what they're trying to do. They're not pushing to score points as much as they possibly can. They're playing a little bit too timid. They're playing a little bit unintentionally right now. Be a little bit more intentional about every action. You've got to try and match the ability of this Scotland team to execute. But you've got to at least get close to it, because Scotland are executing really, really well right now. They've come out with a game plan. They know what they're doing. They look like a team that's been here before, that has all the experience that they do have. They're able to come out and execute a game plan that's not super high level. There's not a massive difference in ability between these two teams, but the ability to execute for Scotland is so much higher right now than it is for England.
Yeah, completely agree with that. I feel like Scotland is slightly more gelled together, and that might just be a callback to the experience that they have as a squad versus this England squad, which is relatively young in comparison. And that's a smart play from Waldy into the deep corner above the head of Littler.
Scotland have done a really, really good job game planning for England's middle attackers in this set. Every single time that ball's gone, apart from Izzy Brown on the slide, who's had some success, but every other ball to the middle, Scotland have matched it really, really well. The middles have known it's coming, they've sat on the route, and they've been able to put a block up.
So out of system pass from Littler there, and a miscommunication between Howe and Cruz. Be a bit disappointing for the England ladies on that one. So Cruzy will continue her service run. Much better pass this time from Littler. Out to Jagielska, still a bit wider than she's expecting. So scramble from Scotland leads to a free ball coming back. Beautiful pass from Cruz. Much better set this time to Jagielska. And Waldy recycles off the block. Morrison with a block touch on Van Essen. And then out to Jagielska. And that ball is ruled as up. But the next ball called as a lift.
Yeah, Setter takes that ball from quite low, just hangs onto it for a little bit too long. That's just trying to put that ball up. But great scramble defense from Scotland. Shona Fraser again, making some great plays there in the back row. Just having a massive impact on this game over and over again.
Yeah, lots of movement on the Scotland side in defense, which is quite positive to see. I think the England girls are starting to wake up now but they still have a little ways to go to start playing at their full potential. So McGreedy again with a dime pass out to Morrison, and that's too fast for Van Essen and Tully to close the block.
When you've got one team putting loads of service pressure on you, you cannot take the level of risk, level of aggression off your serve. England have gone low aggression on their serve, low risk. They're not making any service pressure. Scotland can do whatever they want in the side-out function of this game right now.
And now we have England are out of rotation. So second referee just clarifying who should be stood where. I think Lauren Howe was not between Jagielska and the libero Littleton.
Yeah, the fourth time in this tournament England called out of rotation.
So block of that, but second ball well covered by Tully. Massive swing by Cruz. Good defense on Scotland. Again, just scrambling to get everything up. Jagielska with a swinging defense that's going behind the advertising boards.
This Scotland team's so good in broken play. They've just dominated every single bit of the outer system play so far today, and I'm really, really impressed by how these outside hitters are playing defense, how they're so dynamic in that broken phase of the game, and just able to make really smart decisions and really smart swings.
Yeah, so we've just seen a double substitution come in for England where they've got Philip Edwards coming in to be the backcourt setter, and Chandu has come in as the front court opposite. And the first referee just clarifying that JoJo Cruz is indeed the captain on court following that substitution. So Ranklin to serve, still strong on these float serves, and Cruz with a monster of a swing there. Welcome to the match, JoJo Cruz.
Yeah, England have been they had to get her going at some point in this one. She's such a big point scorer for them. Finally get her into a position where she can do what she does best, which is wait, see the block, see the defense, go up and hit hard into space.
So Catherine Tully serves into the bottom half of the net. Very disappointing for the England ladies when they had an opportunity there to try and get themselves more into this set. Scotland leading 14-7.
Yeah, England just struggling again to knit two good plays together here. If you're going to make up this deficit, you've got to start putting together a run of points.
So decent pass out, back to JoJo Cruz. Excellent defense for McGreedy, but a low set for Morrison gives England almost a free ball. Back out to Cruz. Great defense again, the libero. And a great swing from Morrison with Chandu just giving her too much line on that attack.
And coach Danny Traylor, take a bow. Talk about setting up your team in a way that utilizes the positives, utilizes what they're best at. Setting up the block to take away the 6-1 seam, funneling everything to McCready, who's having a great game defensively as the libero. Scotland able to just stay alive until they can get a swing and give them the opportunity to score.
That's a great pass from JoJo Cruz, but a misconnection between Philip Edwards and Brown gives that point right back to Scotland.
Yeah, really, really strong play again from Scotland, just sitting on that middle route, waiting for the England mistake, and they're able to get the score because of it.
So an error-ridden set so far for England. They didn't get stuck in the Fraser serve-receive rotation this time, which is a positive. So that's, we have made some changes here. It would be interesting to see if we can get Chandu firing from an opposite perspective. Will that make a difference versus the Scotland squad? I think she did well in the match last night against the Scotland team. But Scotland looking very comfortable so far as this set is progressing.
Yeah, England needs to take hold of this. Someone needs to come in and give a little bit of fire into this team. They look a little bit flat. They look a little bit like a team who almost know they're going to get beaten here.
Right, so Waldy serves again, this time on Cruz, but that's a much better pass. And the connection with Brown is so much better on this one. Back out to Morrison, who's had the hot hand for Scotland. So an out-of-system set to Cruz, well off the net, unable to get the contact she wants.
Yeah, the England outside hitters just not creating enough space out of system right now to go up and make the attacks that they want to make. Scotland doing a much, much better job of that, getting themselves into a good position. to make the plays they want to make.
Out to Chandu, so this is her first attack. McGreedy plays that, although it looks like it could have been out, but to Fraser, and that's a good containing block touch from Cruz. So she gets rewarded with a set, goes down the line. Unfortunately, it's just long.
That's a nice design from England. It's not something we've seen that often offensively for them. The ball going into the kind of window where Cruz could go 4-4, she could go down the line. She's able to go and make an aggressive swing on it. It doesn't work out, but it's better than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, so back to Chandu, who gets a much better swing on it this time. Scotland straight out to Morrison again, but down the front of Isabel Brown.
Yeah, England's middle blockers just haven't made an impact on this game defensively. Scotland's pins are able to see where that block's going to be and make such smart swings, such smart attacking decisions. But England's middle blockers have got to do a better job of closing and pressing and putting pressure on the pin attackers right now.
Better pass from Jagielska there, and the cross-court attack from Cruz was in, but also second referee says that Murray was in the net.
Smart swing again, and this is what Jojo Cruz does so well. Goes up, sees the space, they know she hits it hard, so Scotland's defense comes in. Cruz then hits wide into the corner, into the space to score.
So Chandu's first serve of the match today is into the net. Again, so that is the second service opportunity in a row that they've given up. I had to go back to my notes because it's been a while since I had a service opportunity. Morrison from the baseline serves on Jagielska. That's going to go well out of system to Cruz, who just tries to get a touch on it, but I think it was over the net and out. So reversal of that double substitution coming now. So this will put Van Essen and Lauren Howell back in the court, which means that we still have a front court opposite and a back court setter. Morrison again serving at Jagielska. Out to Howe from the outside position. She's got a good swing, but it's defended well again by McGreedy. Misconnection for Scotland gives England an opportunity, but that's set again over the net. Cruz is off balance in a smart rolling play, but well picked up. Morrison from the backcourt. Great dig from Jagielska. Going to go back to Murray, who has a high rolling shot deep to position one.
Just again, super smart middle play. Goes up into the space, beats the blocker, goes and attacks to the space. If you attack to the space, you give yourself a really good opportunity to score. Forces a great defensive play from England to even get the ball up there, but they can't make it. Going to score all day if you go to that space that well.
Yep, so we've got another change now. Freitas has just come on for Izzy Brown to play in that front court middle position.
Saskia, a very smooth blocking mover. Going to make an impact in this game. She's going to try and get into that right position and press back in.
Morrison serves, this time on Livler. So we're very out of system. Jagielska goes for a backcourt swing, defended by Morrison. Out to Crucy, high off the block, and down.
Super smart swing. First time England's block has really been well formed against one of these Scottish outsides. Crucy sees it, sees the hands there, takes the point off the top of it.
Yeah, completely agree. That was a much better form block, and I think as Freitas gets into the rhythm of this match, that will continue to improve. So beautiful pass here from Jagielska out to Cruz in that opposite position, self-cover. So we've got an out of system on Scotland's side through Crucy. Jagielska unable to get that one up.
It's a very, very simple but very effective game plan from Scotland. You keep hearing me talk about how well they're playing into space, but it's been a massive key to how they've won this set and this game so far.
Yep, so Morrison with a short serve this time. Ace on the libero, Livler.
And that's the set. Super smart from Scotland again. Just into space, into space, into space. How can we make life difficult for England? They've done it so well all day. They've just, whatever they've done, they've put pressure on England in every single area. And it's just been such a smart way of playing for this Scotland team. Been super, super impressed by the way they've gone about their business.
Yeah, so finishing that first set 25-14, second set finishing at 25-8. Scotland are putting in a commanding performance at the moment. The England ladies just delaying, moving to the other side of the court ahead of the break for between sets 2 and 3. They are making their way over there now. So the faces on the English team looking a little bit sad, which is understandable considering the situation right now. But mentally, how do you get yourselves back into this match?
You have to come out and attack. You can't stay passive. You can't try and not make errors. You've got to come out, try and attack Scotland. Try and take what Scotland are doing and flip it onto them. Flip the momentum of it. Flip the ability to play in space, to make life tough for Scotland. Right now, England are not doing anything to make life tough for Scotland. Scotland are able to just play the game that they want to play. They're experienced heads. They're able to take out everything England are trying to do. So throw something in there that's a little bit different. Play to corners, play to the areas where the defenders aren't. Make sure that you can get up and at least force Scotland to try and do something a little bit different to what they're having to do right now. Yeah. Get in and dig a ball. Go and have some initiative in the way you want to play.
So I'm interested to see if there's going to be any changes for the English lineup here. It looks like we might see Freitas retain her space on the court, maybe not. And Chandu doesn't have her warm-up jacket on either. So we might see some changes, or they might just be preparing for some mid-set substitutions. Scotland ladies playing a bit of mind games. Again, we saw this last night. They're already on the baseline, waiting for the referee to blow the whistle for them to join the court. And I'm not expecting any changes to their lineup because they are operating at peak efficiency. You know, you mentioned about service pressure a few moments ago, and I think that's a really key element. So Scotland have been really great with the service pressure in this match. England have made a couple of service errors, and when they are serving, they keep serving not necessarily at McGreedy, but McGreedy and her team have a really good way of moving them around so that she is the one passing the ball. How does England get around that?
I think you just got to go up and put some aggression onto this serve. And find a way to hit it into a seam, hit it deep into that seam, or short into the seam. Do something that's going to force this Scottish passing unit to move a little bit more and make life as tough as you possibly can for them. Freitas stays in. Looks like Chandu's coming in on the opposite position as well for England in this one. You know, Scotland have 12 aces today. England have 2. That's been one of the biggest mismatches in this one, is the quality of the service pressure. Scotland have been able to do it, and England just haven't.
Yeah, completely agree with that. So Scotland are going to get us underway. Interesting that they're still starting with Waldy on the serve rather than Fraser. So Cruz with a decent pass to start with, so she gets rewarded with the ball. And a quick block-out kill for her. Great start.
Great intention from England. Nice first pass. Go to your most experienced attacker that's out there. Let her rip a ball off the top of the block to score.
So Van Essen to serve now. McGreedy with not the best of passes, but Scotland trying to make the best of it. Setter takes the first ball, so out of system to Cruz, and Cruz is well into the net, trying to get some sort of blocking hand up on that against the attack of Fraser. So out of system again, tight set to Chandu. That's great coverage from Littler. So Cruz is going to have to put a free ball over for Scotland, straight to McGreedy. Dime pass, fast set out to Fraser, and we're going to see a double touch called.
Yeah, they definitely just didn't quite catch that ball in her hands correctly. Couple of movements in the different hands as that ball was set out, double all day long.
So JoJo Cruz with a serve, deep serve, almost catching Scotland out. But Fraser comes in with some self-coverage off of that block. Free ball from Scotland. Beautiful pass from Cruz. Quick ball out to Jagielska. Tips, because I don't think she was ready for that. And the referee saying that ball is down.
Yeah, I think England have gotten away with one a little bit there. That ball came out spinning. Although it came out relatively clean from the hands. There wasn't a double movement in the hands, which is probably why the double touch wasn't called. It was one movement. Yes, the ball came out spinning. Most referees would call that, but I actually think that Anna Justowska has made the correct call on that play. It wasn't a double touch. Yes, it didn't come out clean, but that's not what the rule says. The rule says you have to make 2 movements on the ball.
Yep, completely agree with that. Just because the ball comes out with a bit of spin doesn't necessarily mean a double touch. So Cruz with a deep serve, well left by Morrison. And a let off again from England.
Yeah, if you're England and you're 3-1 up there, you have the opportunity to come in and make that a 4-1 lead, put a bit of pressure on. They don't, and now it's back to 3-2 and close again.
So Murray to serve. That's a good pass from Littler. Out to Chandu, who tips, but there is no block coverage behind her.
And this is where I just want to see a little bit more aggression from Daniela Chandu. I've seen her go up and bounce those kind of balls, go up and put a hard swing in cross court, use the edge of the block, use the hands, have that freedom to go out and make an aggressive play.
Yeah, so this serve passed well again by Cruz this time. Jagielska with a swing. She thinks she's got high hands. Referee agrees with her. Kill for her.
Yeah, smart swing. Yeah, didn't have a lot on. Scotland's block was pretty well formed. So for Alice to go up and make that swing to score is a really, really good one.
Still a bit quiet on the attacking finish front from England. They need to figure out a way to get different attacking options in play as we see Cruzy put an absolute blast of a attack down.
This is a great set. Set into the perfect area where if England had blocked cross, Cruzy could have gone up and swung line on it. England blocked the line. They take that 6-1 seam out. Cruzy's got the option to go 4-4 like she does to score.
Yeah, directly at the middle, who's just served. So you don't have a libero on court in that rotation. Great swing there from Freitas. As she goes high hands. So that's 2 in a row from England on that type of play.
Yeah, I like it. It's a strong swing. It's a swing to score. It's a swing that puts you in a good position. So go up and try and make that play. Try and make a scoring play in offense.
So Chandu with a deep serve. McGreedy plays it. So we're going to be out of system. So back court to Fraser. Beautiful block from Freitas.
Saskia Freitas is the best back row blocker in the country. She's so good at timing that ball. Waiting for that back row attacker to come in, just holding down that little bit longer like you need to do against the back row attack. Going up, making sure the press is there to put that ball on the floor.
Chandu with another float serve. This time is left by McGreedy, and it is out.
Good aggressive serve though from Chandu. I like to see that going for the line, going for a serve that's going to at least put Scotland out of system if they have a passer there, hunting for the point.
Yeah, much more palatable as a service error because it doesn't go into the net. It at least went out. So good pass from Cruz here. Going quick out to Jagielska down the front of Waldy's block.
England's offense has looked far more aggressive in this set so far, and this is exactly what I wanted to see from them. Go out and swing to score, swing to have an impact on this game.
Yeah, 5 kills for the England ladies already in this set compared to 4 in all of the last set. Jagielska with a great serve, but McGreedy picks it up again, and the block is there again from Freitas.
What a way to come in and make an impact, right? You come off the bench, you have the opportunity to come into this game and show that you can go up, you can close, you can put your team in a good position. She just dropped that inside hand perfectly on that block to put the ball on the floor. Scotland being presented with a slightly different picture, shown that they're going to make some errors. Can they now come out and adjust, use all that experience that they have to go in and make a big play? Yeah,
so the impact of Freitas driving Scotland to take their first time out of the match. So massive impact from her, and they will probably be discussing here how they can get around that big block. So we now have Jagielska at the back line, who has been quite good in offense from the front court. So can we get Cruz firing at the same level? It's a good serve out to one. Beautiful ace service from Jagielska.
Hey, way to go after a weak zone for Scotland. Way to go after a zone where the front court pass and then has to think about passing, making that movement, going to serve. Serving that front court pass deep is a great strategy. Alice done it really well. Now drops the one in short. Great service strategy.
Out to Cruz with a good swing between the seam of the block. So fast set out to Morrison. Well picked up by Cruz there. Jagielska from the backcourt is defended well by Cruzy. Now Fraser from the backcourt. Jagielska with a good pass. Freitas having to reach for that ball, but Morrison is touched by Chandu, taking it away from Jagielska, who I think had a pretty good angle on that pass.
Yeah, England are kind of in like a semi-system, it feels like, defensively here. They're blocking cross-court, but they're not quite getting that sixth defender down the line enough like they need to. There, if you're going to leave that line open for Scotland to swing, you've got to get two defenders down there ready to make a play.
And England again called as out of rotation. Just a little bit of confusion here. The England ladies don't think they're out of rotation. But I do think they are, because I think Chandu is supposed to be to the right of the libero here. Yeah, so they're just making an adjustment there. So easy point for Scotland off of that error. Ranklin to serve. Jagielska with a beautiful pass. Back to Freitas. Smart play.
Young middle blockers out there. One of the big things we work on is making sure you beat that block, especially when you've got two up on you. If two blockers are up on you, that means there's space there for the tip. Get the ball around and get the ball over the top of that block. Put the Scotland defense in trouble, and you might even get the opportunity to score.
So Freitas serves onto Cruzy this time. That's still a great pass. Sorry, there's been a call. I'm not sure exactly what's happened there.
England called out of rotation on the serve.
If they were out of rotation, they should be, okay, positionally.
Looks like Chandu and Jagielska were the wrong way round on that serve.
So great pass there from Jagielska with that overhand. Cruz with a great swing. Scotland scramble, can't get that one over the net.
Yeah, really, really good set. Gets Cruz wide of the block, lets her go and rip it down the line. Scotland almost make the defensive play. Really, really good effort from them.
Yeah, good as well to see Cruz really getting into this match now. England starting to come back with a bit more rhythm in set 3. Out of system to Scotland, so Fraser is blocked. That's going to be massive for England.
That's what Chandu gives you on that opposite. So athletic, really good at reading and timing those close blocks in there. Shona Fraser, for as good as she is, had nowhere to go because Chandu's hands were up and wrapped around that ball.
So Van Essen to serve again. McGreedy again with a beautiful pass. With Morrison running a stack play coming through the middle from that opposite position. That's a bit of interesting new offense from Scotland there.
I really like how Scotland have built their offense for this game. You know, able to just do so much good with everything they're trying to do in this one.
So Morrison with a deep serve. Well handled by Littler. Quick pass to Tully. So we're going to be out of system. Cruzy with a swing between the block. And a nice set out to Chandu, who has a big swing and is convinced that she's got hands. And yes, she does.
Again, that smart, attacking, offensive mindset from England is exactly what we want to see. Trying to use the middle in transition, trying to play in ways that push Scotland to make tough decisions and tough digs and tough swings.
So Cruz now to serve. On to Morrison. Shank pass. What a serve.
England's serving has been so much better, so much more accurate in this set. Just able to push Scotland out of system that a little bit more, makes life a lot easier for England to play. They're getting more free balls back, they're getting fewer balls where Scotland's pin attackers are in rhythm and able to swing.
Yeah, just having a little bit of court drying action going on to make sure that the surface is safe for all the players before we proceed. As Cruz is up to serve again. This time on to McGreedy. Slightly further off the net, out to Crucy. Again, that block. Tully just holding her finger. That one probably stuck a bit, but that block is not quite closing between Tully and Chandu.
England's pin blockers are drifting a fair bit when they jump. They're not holding their position in that block. Makes it really, really hard for the middles to close and stay closed.
So Murray to serve onto Jagielska. Great set out to Chandu, who has a blockout kill, exactly what you were asking her to do a few points ago.
I mean, we just spent 4 days in this very arena with the England U19 group. Danny playing as an outside for us in that camp, and just able to come in and swing really, really aggressively and win point after point after point. If she can come in and be aggressive for the rest of this game, she's going to give England a real option on that opposite position.
Yeah, and we've just seen a serving substitution where Phil Edwards has come in for Tully. So Phil Edwards was quite good in service against Scotland last night, and you can see there McGreedy getting a very out-of-system pass up to her setter. The block touch is well covered, but unfortunately not put back over the net. Great effort from the ladies.
England's energy is so much better in this set compared to the first two. They're fighting for everything, and they're able to stay up in front in this one so far.
Yeah, and I think the scoreline is definitely reflective of that. So Jagielska has to put in a free ball. Fraser takes it. Set goes out to Crucy. Again through the block. First referee saying that there was a block touch on that ball, which I think I agree with.
I'd like to see England's middle blockers shifting over to the Scotland outsides a little bit quicker than they're doing right now. Go a little bit earlier in the point. There's not been a huge amount come through the Scottish middle so far.
That pass well handled by Jagielska, so out of system for Scotland to Crucy again. Great containing block touch. Out to Chandu with one blocker. Going for high hands. Does not get a call this time.
But again, it's an aggressive swing. It's a point scoring swing. She's going after the ball, trying to score the point rather than just putting the ball and keeping it in play.
Yeah, this is much more positive from the England ladies, and now they're going to call their first timeout as Scotland are just starting to close that gap. So we've got England 15 with Scotland trailing at 13 points. So completely agree with you, Alex. There's been a lot more positivity from England. There's a lot more aggression going on right now. We've had several more kills for the England ladies in this set.
Yeah, but Scotland is just staying in this game. They've kept it tight. England are probably playing their best volleyball that we've seen for a couple of sets now, a couple of games into last night as well. And Scotland just able to stay tight, keep making good decisions, keep making the smart plays.
Yep, so it'll be important for England here to stop the service run of Fraser so that they don't get stuck into the same situation that they had in set number 1. And hopefully the timeout will have helped them with that. So Jagielska, not a great pass there. Chandu well covered, so free ball coming over. McGreedy with a perfect pass. Quick to Ranklin. And we're going to get a call for 4 touches because that middle attack wasn't over the height of the net tape. Chandu's jump float, and this time it's Scotland who are out of rotation. And I think that's the first time we've seen that in this tournament, with Ranklin forgetting that she is in position 3 at the minute.
Yeah, that's a really tough out of rotation to concede, that you should know where you are, you should know who just served.
So serve onto Morrison, tight pass out to Crucy. Van Essen does well to pick that up, but unfortunately is going to get called as a double touch.
Yeah, it could have been called as a double, could have been called as a lift. England need to make sure that press is there in the block. They're coming in, they had a 4-point lead, gifted a 4-point lead by Scotland being out of rotation. Got to make it count now.
Decent pass from Jagielska. She's rewarded with the set. Smart rolling play. Fraser unable to put up a playable ball, and you can see the frustration on her face, but such a smart play from Jagielska there.
Yeah, really, really good way to score the point. Even if Scotland had got that ball up, it takes Fraser out the offense, it shortens the net, shortens the area that Scotland can set to, makes life easier for England's block.
So Jagielska serves deep. McCready again with a beautiful pass. Ranklin is absolutely shut down by Freitas. We'll watch that one again.
Oh, we've seen some of this year and last year in the Super League. Just able to sit on that middle route, goes up with the middle, gets the timing perfectly. The press is good. The ball's on the floor.
Yeah, smart from Cruz as well to recognize that there's no front court opposite. And then Jagielska follows that one up with an ace.
England far better focused in this set as well. They're hitting their game plan strides. They're making the kind of plays that they want to make and forcing the timeout from Scotland.
Yeah, so second timeout for Scotland in this set, second timeout in this match so far. Plenty of pressure coming in from this England squad. What a turnaround from sets 1 and 2. I know as somebody that's involved in the England coaching setup, you will be very pleased with the change in performance here.
I just love the self-belief that they've come out with in this third set. Could have been really easy to shut down after that second set, getting taken apart in the way that they did by Scotland, but they haven't. They've come back with some self-belief, with some fire, with some drive, driven on by Jojo Cruz and Molly Van Essen, leading, talking a lot in that timeout. You've got some experienced players on the floor here, players that will be a little bit embarrassed by the first 2 sets of this game and able to come out and show that with some fire in this one.
Yep, so Jagielska to serve again. The float serve, again aiming at Morrison. That's a very smart play. So we're going to have a backcourt attack from Cruzy. And I think that was luck more than anything else. Jagielska relieved that that ball has been struck out by Cruzy, so rare error from her.
The England coaching staff told me they were going to try and go after Morrison a little bit with their serve, and this is the first set that they've actually tried to make that happen. And it's put them in a positive light.
So this time, a little too square on for McCready. She does well to get a good pass in, and Morrison uses the arms of Van Essen to get a block out kill.
Really smart swing. England's block, not hard fronting that attacker well enough. They're not wide enough in that block. It just opens that block out option, and Morrison does really well to take it. She's attacked really well today. So
Ranklin's serve is passed very well by Jagielska. Cruz with exactly the type of shot that you expect to see from her. So we'll watch that one again.
Every young outside should have this shot in their locker. Going high, off the shoulder, opening up, rolling that ball deep into the corner with some power.
Yep, and just confirmation that we've got reversal of that service substitution that we saw a few points ago with Tully coming back in to play as front court middle. Freitas to serve, again targeting Morrison, and you can see how out of system that's put Scotland. But a great swing from her, great defense from Freitas. So scramble from England, free ball going to Scotland. Out to Morrison. Again, a great dig from Freitas. And Cruz is set quite tight, but gets the overpass. Good defense from Scotland, and Morrison goes high hands. But the point goes to England as Morrison is called in the net.
Saskia Freitas showing why all of the middle blockers out there should get on the sand and make sure you play some 2v2. Having those ball skills, having the ability to serve, come on, play good defense can put your team in a really good position.
Yeah, it's a massive momentum booster as well for your team when your middle gets a couple of good digs in. And unfortunately, she follows that one up with a service error. So that brings Weldy up to serve for Scotland, which means that Fraser is in the front court. But she has been a bit quiet. Although Weldy just gets an ace service on Cruz.
Scotland have barely gone to Fraser in this last set. I think that will be one of the key things for them going into set 4, looking ahead to set 4. How can we get Shona Fraser back into this game, get her swinging on this ball again?
Yeah, so England just trying to throw off the serve rhythm of Weldy, taking their second timeout. So we have no timeouts remaining in this set for either squad. Just a quick chat with Tully about where she wants to set that block up. And I would say as well, between this set and the next one, England might just want to have a little bit of a discussion about where they're setting their pin block at and making sure that the pin block and the middle blockers are both on the same page. Are we blocking line or are we blocking cross?
Yeah, I think so. The more simple you can make it for the middles, you have to process a lot of information very, very quickly, the better things will be.
So ladies are back out on the court, and Waldy comes to give a float serve. Cruz with a beautiful pass. What a swing.
England haven't done that well enough today so far. They haven't got their middles away from the setter a little bit into some slightly quirky positions sometimes. Get them 1-on-0, get them 1 on half a blocker, and they'll put the ball on the floor for you.
Yeah, and smart from Van Essen as well, because she was able to draw Murray away, giving Tully an open net swing. But Morrison comes in with an incredible cross-court angle.
Scotland under chaos, so good.
So it's still set point for England. They have 5 set points to defend in. They'll be hoping they can close it out before then. Jagielska with an okay pass. Chandu with a great swing to get the kill for the set.
Love that. Get up and rip it on set point. And Danny's done that really well in this set. She's been one of the big differences for England. They got Cruz involved a lot more in the offense, allowed her to be aggressive. Got Danny involved in the offense a lot more, allowed her to be aggressive. The more aggressive England can be, the harder Scotland have to work for points. When you've got a group as experienced as this Scotland team is, they're not going to hand you points. And if you keep handing them points, they're just going to eat you up and win this game really, really easily. If England can keep being aggressive, keep taking points, keep pushing things, keep pushing this Scotland team to have to go out and win points rather than giving them points through errors, it's going to make this game a lot closer. Gives England that opportunity to go out, make their athleticism, make their fitness, make their physicality count in this one.
Yeah, Scotland just letting in a few more errors that time, but I think the real difference maker, in my opinion, was Freitas coming in and really being able to close down that block. She's been quite fast to get out to the pins, has made some really good reads, so it'll be exciting to see what England can do with that in set 4. But massive turnaround, England winning that set 25-18 after losing the first 2 sets 8-25 and 14-25.
Any young middle blockers out there watching on the live stream right now, so you have the pleasure of having Saskia in my gym every day, watching her work every day. Her first step is so big, it's so smooth. She's able to then just use her hips, use that body movement. She's one of the best movers that we have in our program and in the England program right now. Smooth at getting out there and closing the block. Presses, almost slithers over the net with her press in the block. Is able to make those good plays. She's not particularly fast, not particularly explosive, but she is super, super smooth.
So Scotland will just be discussing some changes that they might need to make to their offense to adapt to the change in blocking on the England side. Lots of love for Scotland in the chat. We do have at least one person cheering for England. As the Scotland squad again line up on the baseline ahead of the referee's whistle, showing how eager they are to get back out there despite the loss of the previous set.
You know, no changes for Scotland, no substitutions either in that set. Shows just how much Coach Traylor believes in this 7 that he has on court. Yeah, they've been and they've worked together for such a long time. There's so much experience there. He's got absolute trust in the 7 players that are on court right now. Trusts them to go out and get the job done here in this 4th set.
It's always good as a player to have that confidence from your coach, because it does give you your own additional bit of confidence and can help you sometimes when you're maybe having a little wobble, like Scotland kind of did in the last set. So they'll be looking to change things around this time. So we'll have Van Essen starting us off on the serve. McGreedy again, decent pass, but this time a little far out, leaving only Fraser at the outside as an option. And no touch on the block gives England the opening point.
One of the issues you have when you go away from an attacker like Scotland have done, but they haven't set Fraser that much, you can lose your rhythm a little bit in the game. She started off on fire, and just hasn't been able to have an impact on the game ever since.
Yeah, Murray's well covered. Great swing there from Chandu, going through the open arms of Fraser.
So much, again, is that stuff that we've worked on recently, watching Daniela just open up the space, open up just a step, go off one step, get up, fire that ball into the block as quick as possible. Use their athleticism, use the power that she can generate.
So Van Essen serves. Again, McCready takes it. The passes are good, but they're not exactly where the setter wants them. So again, that set from Van Essen's quite wide for Cruz. Backcourt, Cruzy from the back. What a touch from Montero.
Hey, England unlucky, but they're trying to make plays. They're trying to be more aggressive. They're trying to play in the way that we've been asking them to the whole time. Right? They're going out and they're trying to hunt for points now, rather than just being a bit passive, waiting for the opportunity to come. It's been so much better to see them try and hunt. And Maddie Montero, the libero, really pushing, trying to get as low as possible, waiting for that ball to come off the block, getting that touch underneath it and trying to play up in the air.
Again, just having a little bit of court drying. We want to make sure that the surface is not slippery for the athletes who are doing quite a lot of pivoting, jumping, and sliding around out there. So Morrison to serve onto Littler. That's a decent pass out to Cruz, who takes the open line shot, but McGreedy does a great job to defend that. What a block from Catherine Tully. So Scotland, Fraser having to come in and give a roll shot. Van Essen scrambling for that ball. Great aggressive swing from Chandu there. Out to Fraser, through the open arms of Chandu this time. Still some positive stuff out of that rally.
So unlucky for Daniela Chandu there. The press, the blocks in the exact right spot. If she could have just pressed a little bit more, that's going to be a highlight block play of the day. Unfortunately, Fraser sees the little gap there, hits it perfectly, and is able to get Scotland the point.
That's a decent pass there from Littler. Cruz, and it takes a roll off the tape, which I think it actually makes it easier for McGreedy to pull up. Tight set, but well covered by England. Cruz with a push to deep five, excuse me. And Cruzy with the error gives England the point.
England have done a really, really good job of just setting their block against these Scottish attackers out of system, taking away that shot deep to 6-5, leaving deep 6-1 open, but Scotland haven't been able to score there. They've been hitting that ball long. Really, really smart play, really smart coaching from Coach Bartelli.
So Jojo Cruz targeting Morrison, exactly what we discussed previously. McGreedy trying to take that ball, but that's a tough one to get to.
That's exactly what the England coaching staff wanted their team to do from the service line. Right, try and target Morrison, try and make McCready move to take more court than she can, put Scotland under some pressure. And England have looked like a different team since the start of that third set.
So Cruz serves again. This time, I think she's still trying to target Morrison, but doesn't quite get the angle she wants. And Fraser, again, high off the hands of the block.
Really, really smart swing there. Sees the block go straight up, sees the block try and chase height rather than press. And he's just able to sit there, see the hands, go thank you very much, and kill off the side.
So Murray to serve. Aiming for Jagielska, but goes wide of the court. Good leave from the England ladies.
Yeah, good communication across that point as well. Big shouts going up from the majority of the team that ball was out. It was a close one. Tracked well from Jagielska, and England back on top, 2 points ahead.
Catherine Tully puts in a ball. Again, I think they're aiming at Morrison, but the Scotland passing unit is trying to protect her from that. Chandu gets out of the way of Van Essen, who puts up a beautiful set for Jagielska. Cruzy almost in the right position for that one.
That's where this out-of-system ball needs to be for England. Give the attackers the option to go 6-1, to go sharp cross, give them enough height, enough time to get their body to the ball, see where the block is and go around it. Jagielska especially so good at that. She scores so much, so efficiently off these out-of-system balls where there's enough time, there's enough space for her to go and put the ball where she sees the gap and the space on the opposite side.
Yeah, it does feel like the setting errors from Van Essen out to that pin have started to reduce. They're coming in a little bit more. They're almost exactly at the aerial, which is kind of where you want that set to be. Like you said, giving your hitters those options. If they can keep those sets inside the aerial, I think they're on fire at the minute from an offensive standpoint.
Molly's an incredibly smart setter. right? The more that she plays with these girls, the more that this group plays together, the more she's going to learn about what they do like and what they don't like, how they succeed, how they can be successful. And we're seeing that here. She's just getting better and better as this tournament goes on.
A little bit of a scramble on the England side. JoJo Cruz has to put in a ball. Great chase down by Tully. And what a set from Emma Waldy.
Emma Waldy's a baller at the setter position there. She's just getting in and firing the ball exactly where her hitters need it to go. Great decision to go to the middle in transition there. England's middle, Tully, was out of position, not able to quite get back defensively, and the middle was able to score into her zone.
Yeah, Fraser. So Scotland are still targeting Jagielska in the service reception. She's taking that ball and saying, yeah, that's fine. I can handle this, no problem. And comes away with that kill from that one. Can do back to serve. Jump float. Again targeting Morrison, but that's a decent pass from her. Out to Crucy, who goes high over the hands of Van Essen.
Yeah, really, really smart play. England can't leave that 6-1 seam unblocked when Scotland are in system. Out of system, it's okay. In system, when that ball's tight, Crucy's just too good at scoring into that zone.
So Crucy, again, targeting Jagielska. This time an overpass. Freitas does a good job of getting a hand to that, although I think Littler might have had a better angle on it.
Scotland just using all that experience to come back and ease their way back into this set right now. They can score this one, they level it up. England really need to get the side out on this one and keep that 2-point advantage. That's perfect. That's exactly what England would have wanted. Really, really smart play from the serve reception unit as well. They pulled Chandu into the reception unit on the side away from where Scotland wanted to serve. Made it really hard to hit the target, which is Jagielska, on that rotation. Forced the service error.
Yep, so Jagielska goes back to serve, again targeting Morrison, so this is a good strategy from the England ladies. And the block of Van Essen and Freitas forcing Morrison down the line.
Yeah, I think that block needs to still be a little bit wider, though. Morrison will want that one back. She'll have wanted to at least make Chandu have to dig that ball rather than just over-rotating a little bit and swing it out.
Jagielska serve this time onto McGreedy, so dime pass. Ranklin is contained. Cruz gets it back up. Decent touch from Jagielska, but with a two-handed push like that, would you expect your player in 6 to better defend that ball?
It's a tough one. I'd expect the 6th defender to shift across. I'd almost expect my libero to take a step back at least on that and try and get something on it as well. It's a play that should be being telegraphed. As Scotland expose that deep serve seam again in England's service reception. That's where England have struggled so far, is on that deep ball and on the very short ball. Scotland went away from serving it. If they can get their service game dialed back in, England might be in some trouble.
Rankin, again, 2 aces in a row for her. First deep on Littler, and this time from 5-1, which is a very difficult serve to receive. Great effort from Fraser there, who's just asking if one of the assistants can come and mop up the floor. So after that slight delay, we'll have Freitas serving. That's a deep serve. Crucy passes it well, so backcourt to Fraser. That's a great defense from Jagielska. Cruz, wow, what a touch from McReady. That's a very tight set, well blocked. Crucy from the backcourt is absolutely shut down by Catherine Tully.
This is perfect middle blocker play. She just sits, goes up at the right time. Great press on time. Going to put that ball on the floor always.
Massive from Tully right there. Freitas serves again. Crucy's pass this time is well out of system, so we're going to have a free ball coming back to England. Chandu with the pass. Beautiful pass. Ooh, smart set back to Tully. And Morrison with a swing wide. Very well left by Freitas there.
England's change offensively. Yes, when the ball's been good, they've been aggressive, but it's when those sets haven't been quite perfect now, they're playing to space rather than playing to the Scotland player. It's putting Scotland's first ball under a lot of pressure and giving them the opportunity to win points.
Freitas again targeting Morrison. Going to have a very smart ball to the middle. And Van Essen with the setter dump kill.
See, the thing about Molly Van Essen is if she's in the front row and that ball's tight on the net, she loves the setter dump. We've not seen as much of it in this tournament as we've seen in the Super League. She's got 5, 6, 7 different ways that she can dump that ball onto the floor. And that one, the first time we've seen it here, it's a huge momentum point for England. They get that kill, they get the quick win on that point.
Freitas again on Crucy. Good pass here. Back to the middle. Tully is blocked by Murray this time. Van Essen trying for the dump again. So out to Morrison. The rolling shot takes the one-arm stab from Chandu. And is out the back.
Just getting a little bit frantic in this moment when these balls get a little bit tight to the net, gets a little bit choppy at the net. Both teams just need to calm a little bit, maybe set the back row, get the ball away from the net a little bit, give yourself some room to breathe.
So very out of system here. It's going to be a free ball back to Scotland. And the call is going to be 4 touches because it looks like it touched 2 of the players on that initial serve-receive contact between Jagielska and Livler.
Yeah, that's what's being called here. It's a tough one to get called, but you know it's going to be one that you may end up having to concede.
Yeah, so Waldy back to serve now on to Littler. It's a tight pass, but Van Essen with a hugely intelligent play there.
I was just talking about Molly's box of tricks and where we see another one on that point. The ball comes in, tight pass to the net, sees that the blocker on the left side for Scotland had moved in, had come to try and take out that normal setter dump, just turns the hand, pops the ball behind her. It's an absolute classic play. Anyone who's watched a lot of leads in the Super League will know that Molly loves to make that setter dump.
Yes, such a smart play there. So Van Essen serves, this time again on McGreedy, dime. And Morrison comes in again for that stack play through the middle. So Cruz with a standing jump. Littler with a beautiful pass there. Cruz again through the block. And it goes to Morrison. Great defense from Jagielska there. So we're going to go out to Chandu. Two-handed push. Out to Fraser from the outside. Successful. I don't think that Chandu had quite closed her arms on that block.
I think that's just a really interesting swing from Shona Fraser. She goes high hands, is able to get that ball closed through the block, really get some whip over the top of the ball and able to find some space in which to score. Really smart court vision there from Scotland's professional player.
Morrison again, serving at Cruz this time. Beautiful pass. And the connection with Tully didn't quite look there, but she did wonders with that ball.
Kath Tully, spike reach of 305 plus and showing it all there to reach up and get that set that was just slightly too high and go up and make the play.
So Cruz again here. McGreedy, how did she get such a good pass out of that? What a swing from Cruzy.
That's a wonderful, wonderful set from Waldy there to go on the turn at tempo, fire that ball in. Coach Bartelli talking to Kath Tully on that one, but I don't think there's any way that the middle is able to get out and make the play on that swing. That was just great set of play, and the attacker finished it off well.
And unfortunately, England giving up a point, putting Scotland only 1 behind now as they're out of rotation again. So Murray to serve again. This is a good pass from Littler, so they're going to go straight to Tully, but that ball I don't think ever crossed the plane of the net.
No, tough one, just lost her spacing a little bit there, got a little bit too caught up in what they were trying to do with that one.
And that run of 2 errors in a row mean that Scotland are now level. Aiming at Jagielska again, Littler with a set. Jagielska with a smart rolling shot. But it goes to Morrison in the backcourt, and again, Tully.
Scotland just haven't had any success with this pipe ball in the middle of the court right now. England's middle blockers are so good on that route. They're just sitting on the back row attacker, timing the jump really, really well, making sure they're getting the press to score and win that point.
Yeah, massive improvement on the England block there. So Catherine Tully is now back to serve. Again, serving on Morrison, and the miscommunication between her and McGreedy gives England the ace.
If you're going to serve into a seam. That's why we do it. Try and force the decision to be made. See if you can make a miscommunication happen like that one.
Tully serves short on Morrison. Out to Fraser, who goes through the block, and the overpass is killed by Ranklin.
England's block needs to start getting a few more touches on these Scottish attackers on the pin again. They're just not quite slowing down the likes of Shona Fraser anymore, and that's been the difference really in this fourth set compared to the third.
Good pass from Cruz out to Jagielska, short tip. So we've got a scramble play. McGreedy's going to have to try and make that, but it strikes the aerial.
Yeah, really smart again from Jagielska, just able to get Scotland out of system consistently, which is what I love to see. I love the way that she's been able to do that in this one.
So we've got a substitution. Lauren Howell's going to come in as a serving substitution for Chandu. Jagielska was back behind the line, but
not quite her turn yet.
Not just yet. So Howell with a smart float serve.
Superb way to come off the bench as a serving sub and make an impact. If you're going to come in like that, you've got to hit your zone, you've got to hit your seam. She hit that seam perfectly and was able to cause that confusion in the Scotland ranks.
So we're just going to have a replay call because the first referee had already blown her whistle, but I think she had missed a substitution request from the Scotland bench. So we're going to see Morrison come off to be replaced.
Number 14, Hislop.
Yeah, so we haven't seen Hislop in this match so far. So this is just going to be to shore up the service reception.
We haven't seen a huge amount of Scotland's bench all tournament. Danny Traylor very, very happy with his starting seven. Knows he's got people that can contribute off the bench, but hasn't had to go there that often in this one. Be interesting to see. It's a long time now for Hislop to have to think about this first pass. Passing such a mental area of the game, as we have a little bit of a snafu, it looks like, with the electronic scoring system, which is being used for the first time here in the UK. There's a lot of people learning a lot of very important skills. You can see the live score, the live updates on the Volleyball England website as the game goes through.
McGreedy just seeing if she can get some information on what exactly is going on from the first referee here. And they're just going to take a moment to have a little bit of a huddle while the scoring table works themselves out. And you can see as well that England ladies have kind of huddled up, with the exception of Lauren Howell, who's just thinking about where exactly she wants to place this next serve. Would very much expect it to be aimed directly at Hislop.
Yeah, I don't think England's serving strategy is going to change, not until they've seen Hislop pass at least one ball.
And now we have a discussion happening between first and second referee. He gave her the replay sample, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I've got the score at 19-16, which does seem to be correct on the scoreboard. So I'm not exactly certain what the confusion is here.
Looks like we've had a little bit of confusion with the electronic system. Again, our live stats not quite keeping pace right now.
Yeah,
Good
so
serve.
Lauren Howell with a great serve. It goes out to Crucy, who gets a kill off the arms of JoJo Cruz.
Really smart set, really smart swing from Crucy there. Just able to go into a little bit of space, go high on the body of Cruz. Really, really hard to defend that ball that goes up high on the body. and Scotland back to within 2 points.
So we'll just have a reversal of that substitution, as Morrison would have been in the front court. So Scotland not wanting Hislop there. So Crucy serve at JoJo. And a reach from Freitas to keep it alive. Van Essen trying to give the dump, but well picked up from McGreedy. And play continues as Cruz from the backcourt is defended by Fraser. So it's going out to Morrison, who I think that took a touch off the block, so Cruz had to try and play that ball.
Yeah, I mean, this handling play in the middle of this rally is one that I have a huge problem with, because the ball didn't spin very much on its way out, but there were 2 clear movements of the hands from the Scotland middle blocker there as she set that ball. That should be called as a double all day long.
Yeah, it's really tough. So the referees do try and set a kind of level of what they're going to call or not call during a match. The idea is that that level is the same and is consistent throughout, because it's very important from a refereeing standpoint to try and make sure that they are facilitating the match in the best way possible. You know, double touches, you know, the intention of the rule is to stop one team from gaining an advantage from that double touch. So you have to, you know, kind of consider that when you're trying to decide whether or not to make that call. So England, I think here, just trying to have a little bit of a breather, calm down from that angsty moment with the lack of that double touch call. So Cruzy now will continue to serve. So serving still at Jagielska, they're still aiming at her, but she gets the ball in return. Great dig from McGreedy there. Out to Morrison, much better containing block touch. Jagielska, I don't think that actually, yeah, we're gonna get a call for 4 touches because that did not cross the plane of the net. I think midway through that rally, Freitas just grabbing her hand. I think that block touch hurt a bit.
She's been carrying a little bit of a thumb injury coming into the tournament, and just waiting and hoping that that heals. Obviously, if the more time it gets hit, the less it gets a chance to heal. That's
great cover by Littler. And scramble from Scotland, and this one will definitely be called as a double touch. Really awkward contact from the middle, Ranklin there.
Shona Fraser's defensive ability has been a real cheat code for Scotland. You know, usually the opposite, not the best defender in the team, but I think Fraser's right up there with McCready as the best defender in this Scotland outfit.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. She's made some incredible touches at this match. So Jagielska serves, out of system for Scotland. Morrison well off the net. The containing block touch is picked up. Howe from the backcourt into the net.
That's the one where England just need to make the play. They need to make something good happen, make Scotland have to dig that ball, try and get them out of system. Just unable to do so at that point. Key moment in this game.
So Ranklin now to serve. Littler makes a decision at the last moment that that ball is going to be in. So Jagielska from the backcourt hits that one long. Awkward ball to hit, coming from well outside the court.
Yeah, just a tough one there. Abby Littler panics a little bit on that reception. Should almost leave that, let it go, see if it goes long, but just unable for England then to go and make the play off that swing, and Scotland now take the lead in this set.
So second timeout called for England. So coach probably just trying to get the girls to calm down a bit. I do have a question for you from a coaching standpoint. So Lauren Howe came on as a serving substitution, has remained on the court, but Chandu has been quite aggressive in her swing. Is there any particular reason that they wouldn't make that swap back?
So Lauren Howe gives you more of a passing option here. If England want to shift their reception unit around, you can bring Howe in, usually an outside hitter. Has played a little bit of opposite, played as a passing opposite for us at the Nevada tournament for U19s in October. Definitely someone that gives you maybe a little bit more in the back row. I'd fully expect Chandu to come back in if Howe gets round to the front row.
Yeah, okay, so shoring up that defense and serve-receive options rather than being back there as an attacking option. Okay, so out of system again. Going to go to Howe in the backcourt, again into the net. So almost the exact same swing that we saw from her on the last error.
But I think you get to a point where you have to reverse this change now and get Chandu back in. She's made more plays. She's looked more aggressive, looked like the player who wants to be there on court a bit more.
And this is an ace service from Ranklin. Scotland look like they're setting themselves up here to take this one 3-1, as we do indeed see that that substitution reversed with Chandu coming back in. So Littler with a tight pass, Cruz with a monster swing. So again, we're going to see this service substitution as Philip Edwards comes in, this time for Freitas. Great pass from McGreedy here. Out to Morrison, high off the hands, defended. Out to Cruz, who's blocked, but great coverage. Great pickup as well from Scotland. So Morrison again with a high swing.
Really, really smart play from Scotland right down from the first pass. They shifted their group out. They gave McCready half the court to pass, knowing that Philip Edwards likes that serve one-to-one, cross court straight to the best passer, enabled them to hide Morrison a little bit, allowed her to focus on the offensive side of the game, and they have match point here.
So Scotland with a match point. Emma Waldy puts it out the back of the court. Let off here for England. And a great rotation for them as well, as we see Van Essen make her way back to the service line.
Scotland have a good rotation as well, though. They've got Morrison or Fraser as their pick to swing to win the championship here.
Beautiful pass from McCready again. And a smart tip from Fraser to close it out.
Just an excellent, excellent performance from the Scotland team. So experienced, so able to make smart plays at the right time. Just put England under so much pressure. Even then on championship point, the perfect pass. Set goes out. Fraser's able to put that ball into the corner with a super, super smart play. They've just impressed me the whole tournament with the way that they've played, how smart they've been, how much experience this group has. They've made the right play at the right time over and over again. It shows in the stats, it shows in the results, shows in the performances.
Yeah, completely agree with you there, Alex. I think the experience difference between these two squads, and I know quite a lot of the England ladies have played for the England junior squads. For some of them, this is their first senior cap. So just that little bit of difference in experience will make all the difference between these two teams. But the England squad doing a great job of coming back to take set 3. They were leading for a good chunk of set 4, but Scotland just really gelled back together as a passing unit more than anything else. Like the consistency of that serve receive absolutely set them up to dominate every match that they've played in this tournament this weekend.
I think consistency is a big part of this Scotland team. 4 players with double-digit points over the course of the game. Rankin had 7 aces. Shona Fraser had 6 aces. In that one, the service pressure was great throughout. The passing was great throughout. The pins made great attacking decisions the whole time. They just played a really, really smart brand of volleyball. Coach Danny Traylor set the team up excellently. They were able to make use and make positive plays with what they were good at. And I think that was just such an interesting performance from the Scotland team. They're able to come out and get it done. The first 2 sets looked fantastic. Just a really, really smart play.
Yeah, really great performance from both of these teams, and so many great performances across the tournament all weekend from Scotland, England, Ireland, and Northern Ireland. And if you're interested to see the last bits of action, the Ireland versus Northern Ireland 3rd-4th match is still happening for the women over on Court 2. You can catch that live on YouTube, or you can stay live with us for a few more minutes. We will be having a discussion with our woman of the match for Scotland today in just a couple of minutes. So do stay tuned. Right, so I am here with our woman of the match, Rachel Morrison. Massive congratulations
Thank
for
you
the
very
gold
much.
medal win today.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah, so we picked you as our woman of the match because
Thank
you were
you.
so consistent through the offense. I mean,
you. Thank you.
everything high off the hand,
Yeah.
tips, smart plays, roll shots,
Yeah.
into open space.
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing when you're attacking that gives you that court visibility?
I think, do you know, the team around me is so good at giving me information on where the defense is and things like that. And our coach is just always like telling us swing aggressively, swing high. And I feel like that's what I like to do, is just be aggressive and go for hands, but then play smart when I need to.
Yeah.
So it's really a team effort.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. Just generally speaking, and we spoke to your libero McCready last night as well. The passing accuracy from you guys as a unit is off the charts. So it's been really great for you in the whole tournament. So massive congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Any
Thank you.
comments about the team's performance over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's a relatively new team, to be fair, for this tournament, but I think everyone that's come on has done amazing. We've been working really hard, obviously, in training, but we've not actually had that much time together as a team, so I think coming down here and performing the way we have is such a testament to like the talent in Scotland and all the young ones coming up.
Yeah, completely agree. You guys have looked like you've been playing together for years and years. Like, for the most part, it's been very solid. So really great performance. Massive congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
On both the win and the MVP.
Thank you very much.
We're going to talk to your coach here in just a minute.
Yes.
So if you guys want to stay tuned, please do. And we'll be back with you in just a second.
Thank you.
Here with Danny Traylor, head coach of Scotland Women. Danny, a really good performance from your girls all weekend. Just how proud are you of this group of winning?
Yeah, really proud. I think we've done an excellent job of putting ourselves where we've been able to dictate the tempo of games. It's been fantastic. Found ourselves in a few holes, especially today and yesterday, against a young English team who are kind of grown into their characteristics and everything. So, yeah, when we put ourselves in a hole, we've managed to fight out of it and come through it stronger. But good opportunity for a lot of younger players to kind of gain experience in this tournament, which is fantastic.
People look down your squad list, they see Shona's name up there, obviously playing professionally, but it was your other two outsides today who took the majority of the load on offensively. How important have those three been to this team and your offensive identity?
Huge. It's been massive. Like, as you say, Shona's got that experience playing abroad, so she's doing a great job over there, but kind of started the match today with, I think, 4 aces and a couple of kills. I think she scored 6 of the first 7 points we won, which was fantastic. But having the option of having Rachel on the outside, who's mainly been focused on the beach, but being able to come back for the indoor stuff, she's a huge asset to the team. And then obviously Lexi, I'll have to be positive, she's my wife, so I need to be very kind to her. But no, she's got a lot of experience having grown up in the US and has kind of played over there, so a lot of experience on the outside kind of makes it real easy for the whole team. Like our setter gives her a lot of opportunities to find all the outside. So yeah, really nice stuff from all.
I think you saw a really nice team spirit from the Scotland team all weekend. Stayed very placid, very level. They don't go too high emotionally, don't get too low emotionally. How important are those experienced heads at just holding everyone level, being able to go out there and play their best volleyball on cue?
Yeah, definitely. I tried to kind of stay relatively calm. I've kind of put my angry days behind me, you know what I mean? Kind of trying to take a leaf out of Simon Loftus's book. He used to be an angry man some of the time. I used to be as well, but trying to stay nice and calm, and when you do need to kind of fire them up, which I did a little bit in the fourth set, you might have heard that on the live stream, but kind of when you get a bit of fire into them, they kind of start to work. But no, very level-headed, a lot of experience with Laura McCready, and obviously Carly reaching her 50 caps this year, and even some of the players that have less caps have got a lot of experience playing. So yeah, been really, really good, really kind of balanced offense and stuff.
Well, you've been fun to watch all weekend. Thank you again for your time.
Thanks very much, Alex.
Congratulations.
Cheers. Thank you.
And we'll
Cheers.
see you guys again soon.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right, that is the gold medal matches finished now on court 1. There is still a little bit of action happening on court 2 between Ireland and Northern Ireland women, who are battling it out for 3rd place. So you can catch that, and if you want to join us in just about 15 minutes time, once this women's 3rd, 4th match is over, there will be a medal presentation. So do keep tuned in to the Volleyball England YouTube channel, because medals will be going out shortly. Thank you guys for watching. As a reminder,